Now, I'd like to cover attributive and predicate adjectives just for a moment here. These are the two different types of adjectives you'll find in Hebrew. On this side of the board, I've written several examples of attributive adjectives. I've only written 2 examples of predicate adjectives, but you can get more examples on the Canvas page and from the textbook. So, here are a list of qualities in attributive adjectives. First, in general, not every time, but in general, attributive adjectives in Hebrew will come after the noun that they modify, right? So you see here, in every example, the adjective follows the noun it modifies. Ish gadol, noun, adjective. Man, good. Ha'ish hara, man, evil. The man, the evil one, is literally how it's written in Hebrew. So, the evil man, right? Ir gedolah, noun followed by the adjective in every case. Now, in every case in the examples, it won't be in every single case in Scripture, but generally, the general rule is attributive adjectives in the sentence, the syntax of the sentence. The attributive adjective will follow the noun it modifies. And, this is very important, the attributive adjective will agree not only in gender and number, like every adjective will, but also in definiteness. And that's one of the primary distinctions between attributive and predicate adjectives. So that's important to take note of. You notice that every noun here that is definite has a correspondingly definite adjective. And every indefinite noun has a correspondingly indefinite adjective. So ish gadol, ha-ish, ha-ra, right? Mitzvot rabot, ha'ir, ha-gedolah. So anytime the noun is definite, the adjective will be definite as well. Okay, now, one potentially confusing quirk that really just highlights one of the differences in syntax between Hebrew and English is that attributive adjectives, right? This is, on this side, these are attributive adjectives. Attributive adjectives generally follow the noun they modify. However, in translation, because of the syntax, the unique syntax of English grammar, attributive adjectives come before the nouns that they modify. So in English, you would say a great man, not a man great, as it says in Hebrew. A great man, or the evil man, or the great city, or the big city. Or you would say good words, or many commandments. So that's just something to keep in mind. That's different between, it's just reversed, really. After, generally, in Hebrew, but before in English. Okay, that's attributive adjectives. Let me move on to predicate adjectives on this other board. Predicate adjectives function differently than attributive adjectives do, both in terms of the syntax and in terms of the agreement or disagreement between the adjective and the noun it modifies, but also in terms of translation. You do something very different in translation to render a predicate adjective into English. Okay, so in Hebrew, generally, again, and I've given you examples that go both ways, but generally, the predicate adjective will appear before the word it modifies in Hebrew. Okay, so generally, the order is predicate adjective, then noun, and in a relationship. So it appears before the noun, and all adjectives, right, agree in both gender and number, but the case with predicate adjectives is that they will not agree necessarily in definiteness. And the rule with regard to the definiteness of predicate adjectives is that predicate adjectives are never definite. So here's an easy rule of thumb. If you see an adjective that has the definite article on it, it will be attributive every time. Loud cheering springs up throughout the countryside. Every time, if there's an adjective with a definite article, it's attributive. So, predicate adjectives will never take the definite article. And so if you have a noun that has the definite article, and there is an adjective adjacent to it, either generally before, but sometimes after, that's modifying it, and the adjective is indefinite, then you know you've got a predicate adjective modifying a noun. And so here are two examples. Zakein ha'ish, zakein ha'ish. Zakein is the word old. Ha'ish is the man. And here we go, the reverse. Ha'isha zakena. Ha'isha zakena. Zakena is, of course, the feminine singular version because it has the comet's hey, which corresponds to the feminine singular comet's hey on the end of isha, right? So feminine singular, so it's agreeing in gender, it's agreeing in number in both cases, but neither of them are agreeing in definiteness. And that's the main difference. And so in order to render predicate adjective, the relationship between a predicate adjective and its modified noun in Hebrew, you once again reverse the order in English. So whereas with attributive adjectives, the adjective comes after in Hebrew, but before in English, ish gadol, but good man, a big man or great man. With predicate adjectives, it's the reverse. The adjective will generally come before, but in English translation it comes second. And in order to render the relationship, you must add, with predicate adjectives, you have to add the English, whatever appropriate version or conjugation of the English verb to be in order to make the sentence. So here, zakein ha'ish, you would say, the man is old. Or ha'isha zakena, the woman is old. Okay, so this is not saying the old woman. That would be ha'isha hazakena, the old woman, right? That would be an attributive adjective at work. Here, when the definiteness does not agree, you have to add the English to be, some conjugation of the English to be, in order to make it predicate, which then puts the adjective in the predicate in the sentence. That's why it's called a predicate adjective. So the man is old, or the woman is old. So that's a lot to take in, but hopefully that at least fills out some of the explanations in the textbook and kind of moves you along the way in understanding how Hebrew adjectives function.